You might live in a 3,000 square foot house, or maybe a 700 square foot condo. But could you imagine living in less than 90 square feet?
Okay, Henrik, get to work.
Okay.
On the plus side, it does have an ocean view on all four sides. Nina and Henrik are sailing around the world in a tiny sailboat, a Contessa 26, as in 26 feet long.
Henrik is actually the one who does the cooking at sea because I get seasick if I go down to chase rolling onions.
One of the hardest is, for instance, to cook a meal in rough weather, and everything just rolls away and you have to hold on to it, and it's easy to get burned.
We're often have dinner parties. You just don't have a table, you have your plate on your lap.
After 3 years, their tiny red boat is just 1/3 of the way around the globe.
We started from Stavanger, south of Norway, to Scotland, and went through the Caledonian Canal and through to the Erie Sea, and down the west coast of England.
Then they headed across the Bay of Biscay, fighting a storm along the way.
Down to Spain, Portugal, Morocco.
Christmas was spent becalmed, drifting somewhere between the Canary Islands and the Cape Verde Islands. Crossing the Atlantic took a little more than 2 weeks.
For 12 days in the middle, we were totally alone. We didn't see any planes in the sky, no boats, no nothing. Just birds and whales, and it was nice.
After a stop in South America, they entered the Caribbean.
We drifted almost from Panama to Cuba because there was no wind.
Northbound from the Bahamas, they were sideswiped by a tropical storm.
So we had 43 knots of wind and had to heave to a pretty rough sea.
From New York City, they took the Hudson River and the Erie Canal to Lake Ontario and eventually Toronto. The journey has tested their seamanship and their relationship. When they do fight, there's no way to get away.
I just want him out of my life temporarily, you know? And
just jump.
It is a very good test to live in a small boat like this, and you got to choose your partner carefully. If you can't sail around the world with him in a Contessa, maybe he's not the right one.
They've done a few renovations to the boat. The inboard engine was removed to save weight.
Oh, not secured.
And the sleeping cabin is now a storage locker.
It's also a very uncomfortable place to sleep when you're sailing because it bounces. The best place to sleep is actually here. So this is our bedroom at night, living room at day.
A single bunk is enough. One of them has to be on deck at all times.
One person is always on watch, and in our small boat, watch means in the cockpit. So in case a big cargo ship or a ship comes by, you always have to give way because they're bigger than you.
The law of the sea says that sailboats always have the right of way over motorboats, but sometimes it's better not to push the issue.
There are stories about big tankers and cargo ships arriving in port with remains of sailboats hanging in the bow. Nobody knows how it came there. It's just, you know, part of a mast. They collided with someone. They didn't even notice. So we always give right away.
When it comes to being seaworthy, style is more important than size. The Contessa 26 has a full-length keel. It's not deep, but it's long, giving the boat more stability in the waves. The autopilot is also low-tech. It's a weather vane that keeps the boat sailing at a set angle to the wind.
Most people sail quite big boats these days and have lots of gadgets aboard, and they cost money to begin with and they break down, and you need to spend quite a lot of money, frustrations and time to repair these things. And if you don't have them, you don't have to. It's a simple equation.
Keeping it simple also means keeping it cheap. Their accommodations and travel are free, so the only expense is food.
Yeah, we have some savings, not too much, but we are writers, and I published a book, so we got some money and a little bit grant from there.
The trip has not been without heartache. Their cat, Luna, was washed overboard at night, despite wearing a tether.
She drowned mid-Atlantic, and we thought of just quitting everything. because we never ever wanted that to happen again, to a cat or to us. We didn't. We got a new cat and we're still sailing.
The route ahead is as unpredictable as the wind. Henrik wants to circumnavigate Japan. Nina wants to stay in the tropics. In the end, they'll probably do both.
We do this because we enjoy traveling, and it's a wonderful alternative lifestyle, you know? And it's green. It's very modern, actually.
A modern way of living in a very old and tiny sailboat.